Monk Masters said it's frustrating that the Inleo DHF proposal is not funded, but head down and nose to the grindstone, along with continued efforts to win over as many people as possible, will bear fruit in the long run. Yeah, I agree. I think you just need to focus, our team just needs to focus on delivering. Obviously we need that proposal to pass to do these collaborations, but as part of the update to the proposal, we're open sourcing all of our, onboarding infrastructure and methods. And I think the sooner we can open source that stuff and prove that, what Inleo's aiming to do is not just, collaborate and onboard a bunch of new users, but we want to make sure that every Hive UI, is able to prosper and benefit from all the work we're doing and the investment from the DHF into marketing these technologies. So I think open sourcing it is a really great step. And yeah, I hope to turn some people who, may not support what we're doing now into supporters because of the open source movement. And we have seen, that's why when we made that change, Inleo was like 75%, I think, and then we went to 100% within a week of making that open source update. So I think that resonated with a lot of people. And just to keep pushing forward, I think, delivering on a lot of the things we say will obviously turn a lot of people into supporters. Um, and then, another thing I've been considering is putting out a blog post and reporting on, not just our contributions in terms of open source developments, but also reporting on spending and transparency in terms of the DHF proposal itself. I was listening to Shadows Pub and Buttcoins. They have their own podcast um, every week, and they had block trades on this week, and they obviously were talking a lot about the DHF and various things related to it. I'm sure one of you guys has a link to the recording if you want to drop it in the threadcast for everybody. But they were talking about different things when it comes to the DHF, different gripes that people have, different questions that people have. And one of the big points of feedback that I heard was that they wish that more projects that were being funded by the DHF would put out regular updates on what they're doing, transparent accounting, et cetera. And they feel a little frustrated that a lot of these funded projects don't really talk much publicly. Like they're very like private facing, and they don't talk much to the community. So obviously Inleo has always been different in that regard. We've always been very community facing in many different ways, including obviously this AMA. Like, we're here every week. We're here, live, answering questions, answering the wins. But then also, I'm sure you guys see I'm hyper active on Threads and on X. So there's easy access to me. You can just tag me on Threads, and I almost always reply. And then obviously the feedback tag and other things. So, being user facing and not only facing to the Inleo users, but facing to the Hive users and also facing broadly into the space, those things matter a lot to me. So, I was listening to that podcast and I was just thinking, maybe Inleo can improve a little bit on the standards and the expectations when it comes to DHF proposals, because I do also agree that there's kind of a lack of reporting and transparency. So, I think the first critical step for us is to, um, make our make our reporting as transparent as possible, and then do it on a regular basis. So yeah, along with all of the other things that we've been working on and pushing forward on, we are we're making progress on more transparent reporting in general. Andersino asked for the link to the GitLab. Might possibly. All right, let me grab the GitLab link and I'll drop it for you guys. There's been what, five, six, seven, I think seven agents, agent ideas shared there. So the plan with the, agents integration is, essentially me reviewing them every, week or so, and then attaching bounties to them. So, we'll kind of push from there, and hopefully get some good bounties attached. And then you guys can learn, I know some of you guys already know how to build agents, Ahmad Manga, might possibly, and others. And yeah, if we can attach some Leo bounties to them, and then you can build the agents and submit the code open source, then we can actually take that code and then potentially deploy it as an agent on the UI. So I think it can add a lot of value over time if we have those things. And just on open source in general, we've been making a lot of changes to the way that Inleo does a lot of things. And I think our open source contributions to Hive in general are going to start to increase. So what I want to see, more of is us contributing that open source code to Hive so that all of Hive can benefit from the things that we do. The Inleo team's always trying to innovate the next, step forward, is, for Hive to grow and thrive. Um, and we've built a lot of those things in-house and closed source. So if this proposal goes well and we open source the onboarding technology and all of that goes really well, then I'm going to look to open source possibly the whole Inleo UI at some point, and make all of our technology for Hive widely available to every Hive UI, so everyone can benefit from it.